I'm gonna pass out the 33 principles I wrote. I kind of divided them into half. The left side is the Claude's version, and the right side is the original. And I will explain why some of the terminology changes have been made. Stevenson create the profession of chiropractic, and they create the terminology to help explain some of these ideas. And we have to remember that they were talking with the words and the knowledge and the concepts that existed in the 1920s. There were certain ideas and certain things that had yet to be discovered and yet to be revised, changed, however you want to call that. And the first issue that a lot of chiropractors struggle with is the idea that universal intelligence is some type of God. And it's hard when you look at the chiropractic textbook and you go to Article 25, it's halfway right here on the vocabulary modifications, and you read on page 1 of the chiropractic textbook, the science of chiropractic holds that a universal intelligence created and is maintaining everything in the universe. That's both philosophically wrong and theologically horrible. And it definitely contradicts principle number 8. So principle number 8 discusses the function of intelligence is to create force by the old definition, and the function of the principle of organization is to organize information and force. So it's starting off with the idea that we cannot equate universal intelligence with God. It's just wrong on so many different levels, right? So instead of using the term universal intelligence, Claude has decided to use the term the universal principle of organization. So that is now the major premise. Do you have a question, Mark? Go ahead.
I do.
Okay.
One of the things that I've been on this is a bit of contention, and Claude uses this differently in his, I'm currently rereading volume 1.
Right.
The reason that he's saying he got rid of intelligence is because universal organizing principle and innate law of living things do not create anything.
Right.
They simply are.
They organize it.
Well,
Yeah.
they don't take an action.
Right.
Like the law of gravity doesn't take an action. The law of thermodynamics it simply exists to do what it does.
Right.
And the delineation is that intelligence personified, that there's a personality that goes with intelligence, because intelligence creates.
Right.
So they're redistributing force, things of that nature. In Claude's book, he does state that universal intelligence creates things. Now we're separating that from, and I can't think that this is a typo because he does this repeatedly in volume 1, that universal intelligence, regardless of where it came from, the deity, it has created things. There is a creation element there, that the universal, like educated intelligence, educated creates things. That's why it's intelligent, because there's a personality there. I can create a piece of art, I can create something, I can have this idea, and there's a personality to go with it. He's using intelligence when he's talking about something being created, and using principles of organization for something that just is and acting in the way that it was created to act, but not creating anything itself. Am I making any sense?
Yes, but I think that he wants to make the principle of organization, its only function is to organize information. It's not necessarily to create information, according to how it's written in the principles.
Right.
Right. So
What I'm saying is, yes, that the universal principle of organization simply maintains the universe.
yeah.
It didn't create it, doesn't take
Right.
any.
It's just like the law of gravity, like you mentioned the law of gravity. The
100%.
law of gravity is not creating the fern hanging from, you know, it's just a law that exists. And so the organizing principles are just laws that exist. We're not, they were created by something else.
Right, and that's
but-
where he throws in universal intelligence when he uses the word creation. And of course the books, I got it at Airbnb, but that's what is a little bit confusing right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I would
have,
not agree with that.
I understand, and I'm with you, believe me, I was talking
Okay.
to him today, I've got so many questions and so many things I disagree with that he asked, read the last two books before we go
Okay.
into that. So, but what I'm seeing, and I can't think this is a typo, I'm seeing that he's using universal intelligence created, he's using that verb after that noun, and I'm not exactly clear as to why.
Yeah.
Because in the next sentence, he will use the universal principle of organization, which is, like you said, simply a law.
Right.
Right. So we'll have to ask about that.
Okay.
That's,
Okay. So the next change, and we kind of go through these as they're listed under the vocabulary modifications. Matter, since Einstein's theory of relativity, I think it is, E equals mc squared,
yes.
we know that matter and energy are the same thing. So Claude right now is using the term E/matter instead of matter.
Correct.
It's kind of, I don't enjoy that terminology. I wish there was a better word for it, but that's kind of what we're stuck with.
Sure.
And force, you can see the note underneath the Article 25 in Stevenson's textbook. The term force is used in chiropractic as energy is in physics. That was what they thought back in the 20s.
Right.
Now that is not correct. Actually, it wasn't correct then either, and I think they should have known that, because
Really?
force equals mass times acceleration. There's no energy in that.
Correct.
So information force is the term that is now substituted when in the original principles when force was used. So innate intelligence is now the innate law of living things, kind of going through the universal principles of organization, just what affects living things. Instead of life, the first early principles are now focused on existence. Mental impulses we call innate impulses, and amount is referring to 100% perfection. So as these vocabulary modifications are being changed, it's rewriting the 33 principles, despite some of the not so great wording of the way some of these words appear now with the slashes and the E's and the F's and all that.
Yeah.
It really cleaned up and has improved the way the 33 principles are presented as the science now. So flip the page to mission, and Tom